Look,
Right. All right.
life is life in over here.
Hey, we know how it is. So, welcome to the Mo Mindful Show. It's a honor and a pleasure to have you on our show this evening, this afternoon, and hopefully we're going to get some audience participation. But if not, hey, we're just going to flow with it. So, welcome, Miss LaMarr Taylor, to the Mo Mindful Show today. We are going to be talking about embracing your season of change. What does that mean? Embracing your season of change. But first, let's start off with the introductions. So if you could just tell me a little bit about yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get right into it.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is LaMarr Taylor. I am a mother of one daughter who is 23. Yeah, this is the realness. Y'all hear the phone?
It's
All
all
right. So, yes, I am the mother of a daughter. I am an educator in the public school system. I'm from Connecticut, so I'm an educator. I'm also the lead singer of an old school 203 band, which is basically an old school rock soul type band. We sing like 60s, 70s, 80s, a little bit of 90s. And yeah, I'm just, happy to be here. That's basically about it. That's basically me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you here. I'm so excited. I know you just dropped a new book. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I want you to talk a little bit more about Old School 203, and you're an educator. I know you didn't really mention that. So, we're going to tap in and find out who the real LaMarr Taylor is, while also exploring how you transitioned and navigated through your season of change. And I know changes happen. Changes are a constant part of life, and truly the only way that one is to get through it with any level of sanity, I would say, is by embracing it. And so, but people don't understand that. So let's talk about that a little bit before we get into your book. So, LaMarr, tell me, um, how would you characterize change, and tell us the importance of change?
Okay. So, like you said, change happens. So change is inevitable, right? So for me, I mean, as long as you live on this earth, you're going to go through some changes, right?
Right.
So change can be uncomfortable.
Right. Do me a favor. Center a little bit.
What you mean? Right here?
The other way.
Like this?
There we go. Yep.
Can you see me?
Yes.
All this stuff is new to me. So, yes. All right. So change can be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Okay. But yet you still have to change. Right. Like you still got to go through it. Absolutely. Regardless whether you're comfortable or not, you still have to go through it. Okay. So I say that I went through a season where I was feeling real uncomfortable with myself. Just real irritable, tired of where I am in life. You know how sometimes you go through life and you're like, I should be so further than where I am. You start going through that motion. You don't have the perfect career that you want, or or for some people they're not married yet, or whatever the case may be, right? And then sometimes sickness takes on too. That's another thing you have to deal with. So I was just in an uncomfortable, funky place, you know what I mean? Where I just has a lot of negative thinking. It was like that negative self-talk, right, in my head. And it wasn't like anybody did anything. It was just, me like doing life, and I'm just going through different emotions. And so I just figured I wanted something more. Okay. I've been going through this for like the last couple of years, to keep it real. Okay. Because you can be feeling these things, but you still have to work, and you still have to do everything, keep a smile on your face, still love everybody, and yada yada yada. Right. Yeah. So I just got tired. And when you get tired and you want to make a change, I needed a change, so I had to make a change, and the change started in here. I
You
had
gotta make a change. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
I had to, so I had to make the change first in
Uh-huh.
here in order for it to manifest, right? I
Right.
had to change my stinking thinking, okay?
Say
So
that again. Say that again.
I had to change my stinking thinking. That stinking thinking that gets us down and easily besets us, right?
Right. Right.
Takes us off course, right? So, like I said, I just got frustrated with myself, like thinking so negative. And every day it got to a point, like, because when you start getting into that little rat hole of
Mm-hmm.
you never gonna be nothing, or you start believing all the things that maybe you were told since you were
Right.
a young child, and those things start to conjure back up in you or whatever. So when you're told those things, a lot of things can happen, like sickness, all kinds of things started happening. My body
Right.
started aching. I started wearing it, right? I
Right. Right.
started wearing the worry and the negative and all that stuff. I started wearing it on my body. My body started,
Right.
and I was sick and all kind of stuff, right? And so, like I said, I got to a point where I got tired, and I am, and I will probably be, I am a member, a lifetime member of therapy, right?
Okay.
So, I've gone through years of therapy ever since I was in my 20s.
Okay.
So me being back in therapy, I continue to go through therapy once a month, and I know I had to tell myself, LaMarr, you have enough tools in your toolbox. Call it my
Mm-hmm.
toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
You have enough tools to be able to get yourself out this funk.
Right.
Like, it's time to apply,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you done had years of therapy.
Right. Right.
Let's go. Let's get yourself together. Okay. So I just got to a point where I was like, I gotta make a change. Like,
Right.
it's gotta change. And what do I do? And what are the necessary steps? Oh, okay. This doctor told me I need to do this. Let me dig this back out. Let's go back
Mm-hmm.
to the basics.
Right.
What do I need to do? How do you tell yourself every day, even when it's uncomfortable? How do you tell yourself in the mirror, boo boo, you're the baddest thing walking?
Right.
I don't care if I got drool on my mouth, crust in my eyes. You still beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You are bad,
Absolutely. Okay.
right? And so I had to do those things. I'm still doing those things,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we're a work in progress.
Well, I like that. Let me pause you real quick. So, first, thank you for the transparency. I mean, a lot of
Mhm.
people won't come on live and YouTube and share and really bear their soul like that. So I appreciate that, and I'm sure our audience does as well. Um, so you talked about change being inevitable. So this is, I mean, and it's evident. Still, people have an issue with it.
Right,
Everything that happens, things are constantly moving. Like one saying that I've adopted is, if you're not growing, you're dying.
right,
Um, and with any of that growing comes growth pains. So
right,
it's likened to, we talked about this earlier, it's likened to, you know, bearing birth, giving birth to a
mhm,
child.
right,
Um, with that, yes, ultimately you're going to have this beautiful new being that's going to bring joy to the world, and whatever he or she is going to contribute. But there's a process,
mhm,
and that process, notwithstanding the pleasurable part in the front end, but the pregnancy piece, you got that going on, right?
right,
And that's when, of course, I've never experienced this, but I know about it, and you can share more. But this process, it's strenuous. It's tiring sometimes for some people. For some people, the thought of it is energizing. However, it still is an adjustment to be made. And then
mhm,
there's the physical about it. You grow to accommodate that baby. So your body stretches and changes and manipulate. You got to kind of maneuver it, and
right,
even the way that you operate, you got to change that in order to accommodate until that 9-month period is over. And then
mhm,
even then, Then there's some psychological changes some women go through, and
Yep.
some men, and so now there's another opportunity to make these adjustments. So things are going to happen, and that's just one example. Yes, men don't have children, but the other things that we go through. I mean, especially as a Black man, the challenges that we have, just walking the street, just trying to get a job, getting in college, getting through college, um, uh, being a father, being a
Yep.
brother, an uncle, a mentor, a model, a role model, whatever it is that you're doing. There's some changes that need to take place, and typically they are, I don't want to say challenging necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
They present an opportunity to stretch
Right.
yourself, right?
Right.
And so, with that, I would say every season, every day is you're in some season, right?
Right.
So if you're in a season, and on the other hand, you also know that things are always changing. Unless you're just dying, you're withering away and doing nothing. I mean, you literally could be doing that, but even in that, you're changing. So your
Right.
body is deteriorating, your
Mm-hmm.
mind is deteriorating. Whatever it is, if you're not massaging that and working it out, then it's still changing. It's just changing in a different position, in a different
Mm-hmm.
direction. And I'm not going to say negatively necessarily, because that might be where somebody wants to go. Maybe,
Right.
whatever. But it is changing one way or the other. So, hence the title, Embracing Your Season of Change. Every season is a season of change. How do we approach how do we approach embracing it, like welcoming it? What has been something that's worked for you to say, okay, this is how right now is, or this particular situation, um, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to, I'll just leave it there. So how do you address that?
Okay. So I think for me, when something happens, when something arises, I acknowledge it first, and then I have to. For me, I can't keep worrying about it. I used to be like a wart, right? Always worrying does nothing for me. Like I said, it adds to all kinds of sickness and stuff.
Right. So it
So,
does do something to you.
right, right, right.
That's something to you
So,
as opposed to for you.
right. So what I do is now, if it's something that I can't fix myself, or
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Because what I do is I write down a lot of stuff. So
Okay.
I constantly write. Okay. So if it's something that I can't handle myself, honestly, I have to pray about it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I literally have to put it down, and I have to leave it in the Lord's hands.
Right.
Okay. Um, and pray that I will get the revelation, or he will give me the answer, or he will guide me through it. Um, I do I do meditate now. That was a process, because my mind used to always be going. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I started with 5 minutes here and there and stuff like that. So what I do is I try to meditate and try to get into the now, the present. I can't worry about how it's going to end up, what the future is going to be, what the past was. I can't do all that.
Right.
I have to stay focused with now.
Right.
Okay. And like I said, if I can solve it, great. If I
Mm-hmm.
can't, we're gonna pray about it.
Right.
Let the Lord lead me and be done, because
Right.
it's not doing anything for me.
Right.
Okay. It just adds too much sickness, too much pain, too much, the little knots in your neck.
Right.
You know, that's what
Mm-hmm.
I've been dealing with for years.
Okay.
It's not
Do
can't do
do thy duty, that is best. Leave unto the Lord the rest. It's
right.
a saying I used to
That's a good
practice saying.
What is it?
Do thy duty, that is best. Leave unto the Lord the rest.
Leave unto the Lord the rest.
Yep.
And literally that's what we have to do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a believer. So
Mhm.
I have to.
Right. And you brought up something. You said, basically what I took from it is to live in the now.
Right.
And I really like that because um, a lot of people don't really think of it this way. But the greatest gift that we have is, well, let me back up. So typically, what's a synonym for the word gift? That starts with P.
Present.
What's present, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the gift that God has given us is the present.
Right.
And if you look at it like that, like He didn't give us tomorrow
Right.
because we don't know if tomorrow's going to come for us, right?
Right.
We can all be gone tomorrow, or I could be gone tomorrow.
Right.
Each one of us individually. So He didn't give us that. He didn't
Right.
give us that until tomorrow, and when tomorrow comes, then it's now again. It's present again. It's no. And then yesterday is like gone. It's cast into the ocean like nothing that has to do with yesterday, aside from memories,
Right.
exists anymore.
Right.
Yes, the bills may still be there. Yes, the relationship that's not working is still intact, but
Mm-hmm.
you made it past yesterday's part of it. So now let's just embrace now, right? So I
Exactly.
think one thing that people um, can take away from this is that if they live in the present and just only accept that right now is all I have, so and therefore I'm going to make the very best of it.
Right.
So and now it makes that change that you need to address more minuscule because you're not thinking about the change you need to make for the next 5 years because that may not come. You're not
Exactly.
thinking about the change that you should have did because that's over. So all you
Mm-hmm.
need to think about is, all right, what change am I going to make today? What am I going to do different
Right.
to advance me or get me to the place where I would like to go ultimately? Like maybe I'm
Right.
not going to get there today. Today eventually is going to be that day where you're going to get to where you want to go, right?
Right.
But right now, if it's not that, then let me just keep going and doing that thing that I need to do so I can get there. So today,
Mm-hmm.
let me work, let me exercise 2 more minutes than I did yesterday, or 2 more minutes that I did last week,
Right.
because I want to get better. I want to improve. Let me eat differently. Let me, you know,
Yes.
interact with individuals a little differently.
Right. Right.
Let me be joyful. And like in my book, Grace for Granted, I got to put that shameless plug in there. So in my book, the primary focus is on gratitude.
Right.
And so if we have this sense of gratitude, um, I believe that we're able to move forward a lot quicker because you start to identify those things that are important to you, that are good to you, that are pleasant to you, that are cheerful, that are joyful, that bring hope, as opposed to all the other things that aren't those. And with that, now you can move forward with this extra energy and this extra peace. Like, okay, let me go ahead and do what I got to do to make it to where I want to get.
Right.
Right. And so just shifting a little bit, uh, you talked about last week, um, I was in a private conversation about um, be, do, and have. So I want you just to share, like, what's your understanding of be, do, and have, and how can somebody apply the concept, and then I'll work that out as well. So, sorry about that.
Okay. So be, do, and have. Um, it's what do I want to be, or where do I want to be? Where do you see yourself? So that's more like, but you got to give yourself a time limit. For me, I have to split those up because you can, do it within like the next 2 months or so. No, the next 3 months, next
Right.
quarter. At the end
Right.
of this quarter, where do I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Since we're at the end of the quarter, what's this? Quarter four, right? So
Yes.
where do I want to be at the end of this month? Okay. And then how am I, what do I have to do What are the necessary steps that I need to do in order to be where I want to be?
Okay.
Right. So it's those goals. You got to make those action steps, take those action steps, right? In order to have what I want. Now the have, I really haven't worked out yet because I'm still in the be and the do. Like, what do I, the necessary steps?
Right.
Every day I still I'm taking some steps towards my ultimate goal by the end of this quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So every day I'm working towards something.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
that's good.
Yeah. So I have to break them down in chunks because sometimes you can, like, you know how people say, where you see yourself in 5 years? Where do I see myself? like, and that's great. Don't get me wrong.
Right,
you
right.
know, that is so good. But if you're not there yet and you don't think like that already,
right,
chunk it down. Bring it down.
I like that. I like that.
Put it in the chunks. Like, you know, I work with kids, so we chunk the curriculum. You got to chunk it, right? So, like, okay, where do I see myself in the next 3 months?
Right.
What type of financial goals do I want? Where do I see myself financially? Where do I see myself spiritually? Where do I see myself mentally? Where do I see myself physically? Those are my things, because I have to work out in order for me to have the certain physique that I want, right? I need to be diligent in working out. I have to eat right. Right?
Right.
I mean, every once in a while, I might go off the deep end, but I got to veer back on and eat right. And eat right, you know?
Right.
So, and my financial, am I making the necessary steps in order for me to be at a certain place financially by the end of the year?
Right. Exactly.
Right? Because my background is accounting, by the way. I didn't put that in there. That's my background. That's my true background. Okay. So I've always had that sense. And my father used to be a engineer. So math and money, those things always, you know, came to me. So, and I'm a saver. So I've always been one of those people like, okay, where do I want to be? How much do I need to save? What do I want to do? And then once I achieve that, then go to the next quarter.
Right.
Until you can, until it becomes natural, you know?
Right.
Because sometimes, like, I'll make these grandiose, like these big goals, and then at the end of the day, life is happening.
Right.
And then, like, for example, you know, my parents are older. Okay. So, you know, I guess I went through life thinking naive, like they're not going to get old.
Well, you're not the only one. We're all, I think this
you know,
that's a common theme. I mean, amongst or that we're even going to get old.
Or like, right. So as we're getting older, they're getting older. Right. So my dad is getting older, you know, so things are happening and his health is, you know, taking a change. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So the dementia, I'm very transparent. So, so I have to take that in consideration.
Okay.
Right. So now, yeah, I have these goals that where I want to be, but things I have to shift a little bit.
Right.
I'm still achieving them, you know, but there's a shift because I have to focus too.
Right.
On my parents.
So I like that. You're not necessarily taking a back seat. You're not stopping, but people need to understand that it's okay to shift during this change. So yes, you can set your 5-year goal or your 1-year goal.
Right.
And, you know, go hard at it. And at the same time, understand that life is still happening.
Right.
So notwithstanding what that means for you, you still have to, you know, keep moving and address those things that are happening right now. So you're still staying in the present. Right. So that was real good. So personal question, since you opened it up,
Oh boy.
How are you embracing that aspect of your life with your father experiencing what he's experiencing? Like, so embracing, think about embracing. So I want you to tell me, how would you characterize how you're embracing it?
Um, I guess for me, I'm letting him be. Okay,
Okay.
so let's go back. So for a couple years, doctors was like, oh, old age, memory goes anyway due to old age, right?
Right.
But then I started to see like patterns, like memory goes, but he keeps asking me the same questions
Right.
every couple minutes, literally, right? And so I'm the person who takes him to the doctor. I do everything for my dad, right? My mother runs a daycare, so she can't really leave the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess for me, I just embrace. I try to follow what the doctors say,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I just because he still moves around. He's
Right.
like he still can be independent. My
Right.
whole thing is his safety.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
they might get lost or whatever. So my thing is I focus more on his safety and just basically and just keeping him healthy. So I just had to embrace that.
Okay.
You know what I
So not
mean?
so much a welcoming of what's happening, but an understanding of this is how things are, and so how can I um, both help him and still be okay?
Uh-huh.
Is that
Basically.
close? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And just, talk with him as much as I can.
Right.
Create many memories.
Right. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. That's good too. Memories are important.
Mm-hmm.
Creating intentional, intentionally creating memories. So let's talk about this legacy that you left. Right. Um, so of course your legacy. Let's talk about your first legacy that you left. Your daughter.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about Jariah and what she means to you, and then we're going to talk about this other legacy that the whole world has the opportunity to tap into, which is your book. So
Okay. Well, Jariah is my only
don't be
child.
giving out her business, though. Just
You know how Jariah is. She's my only child, but she's a firecracker. Jariah grew up dancing her whole life, so that's her thing. Like I love singing. She's a dancer,
okay.
and she teaches dance.
Okay.
So she's still doing her thing, and she's ended up being like my little. I hate to call my child my friend, but she is a friend. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I don't know why, because I guess that's we grew up saying I ain't none of your friend. Like your
Mhm.
parents and stuff. But
Well, God's our friend.
huh?
I said God is our friend.
That's right. God is our friend. But you know what I'm talking
And
about.
I
Old,
know.
old school parents be like, I ain't your friend,
Right.
which
Right.
is, but I guess when they get to a certain age, she ends up because she has her point of view on things and on life
Mhm.
and she keeps me accountable. So she's a good kid,
Okay.
and I thank God for her and I appreciate her. She keep me on my toes.
Right.
I'll tell you that. She's
Okay.
You think she's very transparent.
Okay.
Keeps me focused.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm sure lots of people will see her. 'Cause I see stardom coming out of her in one way or another, and she's an educator like mom. So she's
Mhm.
impacting people's lives every single day, um,
Right.
which in my estimation is everybody's purpose in one way or
Right.
another to make impact. So talking about impact, so we got this book here. Let's go over here. Okay, okay, over there. No, there it is. All
I
right, so
just have
Unleash the
mine.
Beast. Yeah. So we got Unleash the Beast. So let me just I'm gonna read the back of it, for everybody, so
Okay.
they can kind of get an idea of what this book is about, and then we're gonna talk about your journey in writing that and the
Okay.
changes that you both through, experienced, and um, have had to embrace, even being an author. Okay. So it
Okay.
says, in the pages of Unleash the Beast, the inner you, well, leap into the inner you, embark on a transformative journey of self empowerment and growth. This book is your guide to unlocking the untamed potential that resides within you, igniting the flames of courage, confidence, and determination. Are you ready to embrace your inner beast and transform your life? Let this book be your companion on this empowering journey. Turn the page and unlock the door to a brighter, more empowered you. Hey, I like that. Let me give you a few claps. All right, this was supposed to already be ready. Come on. All right, come on. There we go. There we go. All right. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is LaMarr's brand new book, uh, Unleash the Beast, Leap into Your Inner Peace. This is her inaugural literary offering, and I am pleased to say and excited to announce that it debuted on Amazon as the number one hot new release. So let's give it up for that.
Lord.
And then it was also number four,
Number
number
three.
three, number three. Yes, three is the magic number three. It was number three in
Mhm.
health and emotional mental health. No, self help slash emotional mental health. So it debuted at that, you guys. She dropped the ball. Like, where's the mic? Let me get the mic. Let me get my mic. She was like, up, you know, and
Uh,
and uh, I know LaMarr doesn't take all the credit for that, because it's the audience who bought the book. She didn't go out and buy a bunch of books. It had to be independently purchased, and so I'm going to give you the opportunity to say something to your audience on that note, and then just go right into um, your journey of writing this book.
okay. First, I want to say thank you to everyone that has purchased the book. Thank you for every person who has supported me through this journey. Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. It has been a journey. I appreciate y'all, every one of y'all.
Right.
Bless y'all. And I pray that this book blesses you, because it is my journey. I'm still struggling how to put this thing in the camera. Okay. So I pray that this book blesses you guys. It has been a journey. Um, I try to share my journey and be authentic and transparent as much as I could. So I just hope that you'll be blessed. All right. Um, Unleash the beast.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said before, I'm a singer. So I sing in a local band, and I've been in the band for 6 years now. Okay. So a lot of times we pick songs, or I pick songs where I love live music. I like to connect with people. I'm a people person.
I like
So
live
I
music.
like, yeah.
I don't sing, but I like live music too.
Yeah, I mean, I like to be able to connect with people. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And when I see people dancing and stuff, I love to say, "Hey, I'll go up to you
Right.
with the mic and all." So, I love to pick songs that get them going and
Right.
that empowers them.
Okay.
Right? I like songs like that. Like I just like, things that speaks to their soul and to their spirit, right? To
Mm-hmm.
uplift, right? That's the thing about music. You know, and so I started this journey before I even wrote the book. Like I started like speaking things over me before I started this.
Right.
Because I told you I've already was in a season where I was just just bad thinking. It was just messed up thinking. Like I've constantly, like I was becoming a self-critic, like LaMarr, you should be further along, you're getting old, all this stuff. I'm taking in all this junk, right? And so because I spoke these things over myself and had to keep like encouraging myself, I just started saying it across the stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, but what happened was it started to like penetrate within other people. And like people started coming up to me and saying, after like the performance, they would come up to me and say, that really touched me. I've been going through, or I'm fighting cancer or whatever the case may be. Right. And so when I realized that that was happening, I just kept going with it. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So fast forward. So at the tail end of last year, I always say last year because I work in the school system. So I'm always going off of school calendar. Okay. So at the tail end of last year, I ended up joining a mentorship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so where I met Dr. Mo. So I joined a mentorship and I knew I needed something. I needed a sense of community, right? I needed to be around people who want more and think more. All right. And want more from this for themselves. Because I knew I wanted more for myself, right? So I ended up joining this mentorship. And honestly, that I was already thinking like that, but that is what propelled me into creating the book. Because I became surrounded around people who wanted more for their lives, and everybody was doing something. Like people got multiple businesses and things like that. So you started thinking like, oh, I can do this. I can, have my own business. I still work, but I still create things for myself. I still can go out there and actually do what I want to do. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I had that community, I started saying, well, I'm going to write a book. Now, initially, I'll keep it real with you. The book, like I said, was really for like me and my community, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like thinking real small scale, right?
So it's
I was
therapeutic for you.
Yeah,
because
I was
almost like a journal, would you say?
Right. Because I was thinking more of like, okay, this is a self-help book, but like I said, I had to pull the tools out of my tool shed. LaMarr, you're gonna help yourself.
Right.
You got to help yourself to get out of that negative self-talk. Because like I said, I had the tools. I knew the tools, right? So I created it. And then I was like, oh, this could possibly, be left for, for my child, as she go through her journey and her trials and her tribulations, she could pull out her mama's book, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I was thinking. And then it could be, with my, my audience from old school, I could share it with them, blah, 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 right? And then, like I said, so I started speaking some of this across the stage.
Okay.
Right? And so when I continued to speak that across the stage and people started agreeing and started feeling that they needed this, then God showed me, yeah, you thought it was for you, boo, but no, it ain't just for you.
Right.
Because I don't create nothing just for you.
Right.
Right.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm.
Nothing that I did is just for LaMarr Renee Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
You need to put it out there and let other people.
So let me ask you this. So who would you say is your ideal audience to pick up this book?
I would say young adults, young female, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly female. Yeah, it would probably be female, my female audience. Like I said, I'm 47, so you can go all the way up into your 50s, up into your 60s. Okay. So, but my daughter's 23, so try to, maybe hopefully late 20s, all the way up to 50. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I think
So let's get
that's
into some strategies. You have one chapter called "Gratitude Transforms Attitude," and
hmm
like without reading it, um, unless you want to, just kind of share a little bit about what gratitude transforms attitude. What does that concept entail?
um for me it was you have to I feel like you have to be grateful from where you are.
Okay.
Accept where you are, even where you if it's not where you want to be. Be
Hmm.
grateful that you're still alive.
Hmm.
Be grateful that you still have breath in your body. Be
Yes.
grateful that you have food on your table. Wherever the case may be, you have to be grateful.
Right.
Okay? You may not be where you want to be, but there's always someone who's worse off than you.
Right. And God is shining light on you right now as you talk about that. Like literally, I'm serious. And just as you stopped, the light went down.
uh, so I'm just and it does change your attitude. If you wake up in the morning and say, you know what, God, thank you for my dad put on that light.
That's
Thank
okay.
you for waking me up this morning, God. Thank you for breathing life into my body, God. Thank you for giving me the strength, God. Thank you that every limb is working, God.
Right.
Thank you. Just start being grateful. It it would change your attitude.
Exactly.
It definitely will change your attitude. And so I think that's where we have to have a better posture, um, and just appreciating where we are and what we have now,
Right.
right? What we have now, because it could be far worse off. It could be worse.
Hmm.
So that's basically it.
Okay. And then you have another chapter that talks about laughing through the lessons.
So laughing through the lessons, I like to be funny.
Okay.
Um, so I call myself comical at times,
Okay.
right? So
Hmm.
I like to watch a lot of funny shows. Like I like to watch comedy shows. I like to crack jokes. I'm not a comedian type joker, but I like to crack jokes and I just like to laugh. And I feel like laughter is what helps me get through certain things, right?
Hmm.
So, for example, what I wrote in the book, that give me 1 minute. You have got to move that. Hold on. So, anyway, so laughter, right? I like to watch funny shows. So, for example, in my book, I talk about going through a season when I used to live in North Carolina. I lived in North Carolina for about 5 years with my family, with my cousins and everything. And
Okay.
so, but it was a hard season. Like
Right.
me and my
Okay.
daughter, we struggle. Okay,
Okay.
that's just the God honest truth. Like we struggle. But through my struggle, I knew things was gonna change, but it took a long time for
Okay.
it to. Actually, it didn't really like change too much until I came back home, right? So, but I watched shows like I watched like Martin. I had to keep myself lifted up, right? Because
Hmm.
otherwise you stay in that funk and you start to become depressed.
Right.
Okay. And I've been there before too, many years ago.
Okay.
So I need laughter. I need somebody to crack a joke. I need to get out and be around people, because if you stay in that funk, you'll become depressed.
Right.
And so that's why I love to gravitate to things that are just funny, you know. So
All right. All right. All right. So we are going to have a little fun then. All right.
all right.
So this is the part of the show that I call um, rapid fire. So I'm
All
just
right.
going to
What's that?
say some words, and I want you to say the first thing that comes to mind. It could be a sentence, it could be a word, whatever. Okay. So we're just having fun here. So let's loosen up. Go ahead, loosen up a little bit.
Okay.
All right. All right. Favorite song?
Just fine. That's one of them. That's what came to mind. Let's go.
All right. All right. So Mary J. Um, best vacation?
DR.
Okay. Best daughter?
My only. Jariah Dorsey.
All right. Favorite hairstyle? I know you in the hair.
Probably the one before I cut this.
Okay.
When it was a little longer. Now I want to grow back. You just never
Okay.
satisfied. Go ahead.
All right. Um, the season that you embrace the most? Now I'm talking about winter, fall, spring, and summer.
Summer.
Summer. Okay. Um, favorite color?
Orange. In the orange family.
Orange. Okay. Favorite comedy?
Like comedy, what? Like comedy show, comedy.
Whatever comes to mind.
Oh, favorite comedy? It would probably be Martin. Or
Okay.
Bernie Mac. I was loving Bernie Mac at one season, but what? I had to go back and watch all of them. But yeah, I was a big Martin fan. I'm still with
Okay.
that show.
All right. Your greatest achievement?
My daughter,
Okay.
having my
So I should
daughter,
have said not.
raising her,
So all right. Yeah, her and another achievement.
writing this book,
Okay.
biggest achievement for me.
Okay. Um, where are you gonna be in 5 years? No, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
um, all right, where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, I definitely probably have more books on the way.
Okay.
I believe that there's more in me that I need to create, that I need to share.
Okay.
I will probably by then I will have a couple of up and running businesses
Okay.
um, of my own. Yeah.
Okay.
So won't say what they are, but there's going to be a few on the
Okay.
rise. I'll
All
be
right.
running my own.
All right. And I know you've talked about like a foundation um,
Hmm.
training ground for dancers or artists. Talk about that. So we're finished the rapid fire. Talk about that for a second.
For training. Yes, I
Yeah.
would like at some point I would like a facility. I always wanted to have an artistic school, so where kids can express themselves artistically. I like to do acting and theater and stuff like that, and I've always been singing since I was little. So I always wanted kids to have a safe place where they could be able to perform and do things like that in that nature. And then my daughter is the dancer, so it kind of goes hand in hand. So we have always talked about that when she was even young, that we want to be able to have something
Okay.
that we can offer to the community, your local
Okay.
community.
And we
You
have a
got to.
few more minutes. That's awesome. So you see that being in your home state, or have you put any thought to where you want to do that? And before you answer that, so for the audience, if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and put it in the chat, and hopefully we can get to them. But we're going to be respectful of everybody's time, and we'll be finished up in about 8 minutes. So go ahead. Do you have any particular place? What's the vision for that?
For me, I want to offer it to my local community because these
Okay.
are the kids that I serve here first.
Okay.
I don't mind expanding. I would love to expand,
Hmm.
but I need to take care of home first.
Right. Right. That's good.
Um, you know, yeah.
And so, how would somebody get in touch with LaMarr Taylor?
So you can catch me on what? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and I think they all have my name, LaMarr Taylor. I believe so. Yeah, they all have my name.
Okay. All right. Well, Taylor,
LaMarr.
one of them has Taylor made TikTok.
Which one? TikTok. Oh, Taylor.
Taylor
TikTok has
made music.
Taylor made music,
Okay.
but the rest of them is LaMarr Taylor. My name.
With 2 R's.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then what you got going on next week? I heard some party, something going on next week, Wednesday. Tell us a little bit about that. Where we gonna be? What's up?
So next week I will be at Cole's Pizza in Norwalk on Wall Street. I think it's what
Norwalk.
Norwalk. Oh, I'm sorry, Norwalk, Connecticut.
Okay.
So I will be there from 5 to 7 doing my book signing. If you bought a book, you can bring your book. I will sign it, and I just want to have some fun and just kick back and get to meet people who've actually, taken the time and purchased my book, and conversate. It's just have some conversation going on.
Okay. So I have the details of that. So if anybody wants to attend, it'll be next Wednesday, October 11th. It is from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's at Cole's Pizza at 9-11. It's two corners basically. So 9-11 Wall Street, and that's in Norwalk 06850. If you want to go, RSVP is not necessary. However, if you have any questions, you can contact us. The link is right here below us. info@mindovermatteru.com, or feel free to call 888-365-3766. And so with that, I wanted to just check the chat real quick, and then I have 2 other questions for you.
Okay.
So again, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. All right, so we have a few comments. Coach Balfour, Coach Robinson says, we appreciate your authenticity and transparency, Ms. Taylor. Wendell Phillips, bless you, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you.
Blue Scott Blue says, yay. Anthony and Anna, they have fire emojis. All right. And and Cal and Rachel, they asked a question earlier. Well, that was to me. Okay. Where'd you get that? I think they were talking about the little saying that I said. So I'll tell them about that.
Okay.
And then Jasmine said, hand pink waving. Huh? I'm not sure. I guess she's waving.
Thanks, Jazz.
She's waving. And Blue also says, he's so proud of you, Queen. Alexis says, hey, fam. All right.
Thanks,
so, and I know everybody's not in the chat. I can't see everybody who's here, but we do. The More Mindful Show thanks you for tuning in, and this will be continuously streaming on YouTube. So we're going to ask 2 more questions regarding this book, and then we're going to close out. So I think probably, to me, one of the most important chapters was visualize and realize. Can you talk for about 1 minute about visualizing to realize?
So it's funny. I'm also a visual person, so I have to see it. But if you don't see yourself doing exactly what you want to do, or how you want to do certain things, or how you want to achieve certain things, it's not gonna come to fruition. You have to see yourself doing it. It has to, right? It starts out as a seed, right? In your mind, right? In order for the seed to grow and become to fruition, you have to see it. You have to think it first. You have to know.
Right.
So that's the whole thing. Same thing with the if you don't think it, then you can't be it. I have that chapter too. It all goes together. It all ties in together. You have to
Right.
see it, you have to think it, and you got to know before it even happens, so
Right.
that you're walking by faith, right? That's faith right there in a nutshell.
Absolutely.
You
Right.
have to walk by faith
That's
and
good.
say, I can do these things. I can achieve greatness. I am great. I am wonderful. I am beautiful. I don't care what nobody say. So that's basically it
All right.
in a nutshell.
All right. So I'm gonna place up here where people can go next Wednesday, and then my final question is regarding the book.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you just to read the quotes on page 67,
Okay.
and this is in the laughing through the lessons section.
Okay.
But and then after you, well, just read three of those, and then after that, just talk about the last section of your book, this journal. What do you want people to do with that? And then we're going to close out.
Oh, okay.
So just three.
So I'm gonna read. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. That's in Proverbs 17:22. Okay. A good laugh heals a lot of hurts. That's Madeline L. Engel. Always laugh when you can. It is cheap medicine. And that's Lord Byron.
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, it's cheap. You see how it says it's cheap medicine? Because when you are down and out, what did I say? It can bring on sickness.
Right.
Start getting
Exactly.
headaches. There's a lot of ailments that has happened to me, and it's all based on my perception. Because I would go to the doctor and they'd be like, well, we don't see anything wrong with you. But it was here. It was
Right.
here.
Right. That's critical. So
It's
you have journals in the back.
yes.
What's that all about?
So I came up with a journal because now, honestly, I was going to attach a separate journal to this and like put it together and try to package it together. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I put the journal in the book. So that way, as soon as you finish the book, you are right here, and all you need to, I would like for you to start journalizing. So I left every day has a scripture attached to it, and just start thinking and start getting your thoughts down. I think it's important for us to write write how we feel, right? Because it's okay to feel a certain way. I'm not saying that you never gonna have stinking thinking, that's my saying. So I'm not saying that. Feel
Mm-hmm.
it, acknowledge it, but move on from it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's okay, like tomorrow, like you might wake up in a bad mood. Acknowledge it,
Mm-hmm.
move on though. We
Absolutely.
can't stay there. That's what
Right.
I'm saying. That's our whole
Right.
thing. We can't stay stuck in that, because that's where you die, right? So
Right.
I just think it's important for us to start journalizing our thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
getting ourselves out the way, and allow, like, I know, like, for example, in school right now we are teaching kids how to free write, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
kids, I'm working with third graders right now, and so the kids will say, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write.
Right.
And I'm just like, write whatever you want. And they're literally lost.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know how to begin. And
Right.
so I have to prompt them with some questions. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's why within the book, I do have a couple of journal pieces at the end of each chapter that gives you some
Okay.
prompts.
Okay.
So that way, if you're stuck, okay, let's start thinking. And it, kind of curtails to that chapter that you just read. So
Okay.
you can
Okay.
start writing right away,
Right.
and then hopefully you gain the practice by doing that, that at the end of the book, you'll be able to start journalizing. And I did it for 31 days.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Now, Bertha said, very proud of you.
Thank you, Miss Bertha.
And Coach Balfour had a question. He
Okay.
said, what advice would you give to an aspiring author?
The advice I would give to an aspiring author, this is still new to me. I'm an author. Lord have mercy. All right. So
Who would have thought?
the advice I would give to you is be authentic,
Okay.
be real. Okay. Before, especially if it's an advice book, if it's like something like a self-help book where you want people to do the work or do certain things, you have to be authentic, and you have to basically give them the information on how you either got through it or is still going through it, or you got to give them the tools, right? I mean, or just don't give them the tools and not say where you came from.
Right.
You have to kind of show a little bit of who you are. I'm not saying you have to go like tell everything, like we don't need to know everything,
Right.
but
Right.
you have to be honest with the audience and let them know where you're coming from.
Right.
Especially
Especially if this is something that you started off saying that you were doing it for yourself. So it's a journal.
right.
It's, you're letting stuff off your chest. So shout out to Alexis. And I wanted to say that because if I can, I would add that writing a book is not a one woman show, right?
No,
Right. And so
no.
I shouted out Alexis because she's assisted, as well as Brian, Ruther, um,
Yes.
Brendetta's. Well, maybe I shouldn't give first
Scott.
and last names, but
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Brendetta, Scott, and um,
Sorry. But a couple of
uh,
people and
yeah,
Dr.
Sharita,
Mo
Chanel, um,
and Dr.
Jariah,
Mo.
Dr. Mo. Um, but it was other individuals also who contributed, and so that
Right.
was something that we did glean from Alexis to be more transparent. So I just wanted to again
Yes.
shout
It
her
was
out.
Alexis. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Alexis. Because here's the transparency. I wrote the book. I wrote the book first, right? And then thank you, Alexis, for reading the book and then telling me that I need to go deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that. And I understand now. And that's why I'm telling other people, yeah, you got to dig in. And it is therapeutic. It's therapeutic for me. I love to talk anyway. So it was just therapeutic for me.
Right, right, all right. So I don't see any other questions, and I'll give you the last word. So first, again, Ms. Taylor, thank you for coming on the Mo Mindful Show. It has been an absolute pleasure. Um, look forward to seeing you more. Uh, having you on again. You've already hit number one, so that's on Amazon. So the sky's still the limit. One saying that I used to say is, the sky's not the limit. You are. So you can go beyond the stars and beyond the moon. Like that
Right.
doesn't have to be your plateau.
Yes.
So I wish you the very best with this endeavor as well as others. Thank you, audience, for showing up. You can continue to stream. You can continue to share this out. Make sure you like. Let me throw my little plug in there. Like, share, and subscribe to the Mo Mindful Show. We will be having more shows, and I'm really going to ramp this up. You can also look for my book that will be out by the end of this year, as well as we have a book from Brendetta Scott called. Well, I'm not going to tell you the meaning, the
No.
title of it, but I will tell you
But
it's an entrepreneurship book. It's going to
yes.
teach you everything you need to know about starting your business and having a successful business. So that's coming
Yes.
out next. And then by the end of the year, you will have my book. Also go on Amazon. You can find LaMarr's book on Amazon.com. soon it'll also be available on her own website, as well as on Mind Over Matter U website. But pick it up directly from her. That way you can get an autographed copy. And we will see you on next Wednesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at Cole's Pizza. Thank you, Blanca, for hosting that. Thank you, Old School 305, for backing it. And
203, boo.
Oh,
203.
305. I'm thinking about Florida. See, I want to go back to Florida.
I know.
I miss y'all, Florida. I miss y'all.
That's
I'll
that
be back.
Connecticut. I mean, area code.
Old School 203. Yes, yes, yes.
203.
My apologies, y'all. Shout out to them for always showing the support to LaMarr, and they're going to be there as well. So we want to see everybody, whoever is in the Connecticut or tri-state area. I know Blue, you coming out. New York, Jersey, Delaware, whatever. If you can drive it, you can be there. All right. So with that, we're going to bid you farewell. Again, you close out. What's your parting words?
I just want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you for being on this live with us. Thank you for supporting me. If you have any questions, you can reach me through my different platforms that I shared. If you have any questions about the book or anything that touched you, please share. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. But again, like I said, I pray that this book blesses you. It's a toolbox. It's something you'll keep in your toolbox. So when challenges do arise, you can unleash the beast out.
Absolutely.
So you can tap into that inner peace, right? So
and
it's just something. Your journals. Yeah. Right. And so it's something that is, what do I always say with music? Timeless. Mm-hmm. It's something that is timeless because, as life be life, and like they always say, things will happen and you could pull these things out. You could pull this out. And with this journal, you can look back and say, oh, this is how I used to think, and see the growth, and right. Hopefully, as you, hopefully will have some growth as you keep going on and on. Hopefully, yes. Throughout the years, right? So I just pray again, this book blesses you. I wish you all the best. Anybody out there that is contemplating on, should I start this business? Should I do this book? Should I do it? Do it.
Yes.
Even if you're afraid, do it. Don't wait for nobody to give you the opportunity. You take the opportunity and do it yourself. Okay? There are people out here that are doing things. You just got to learn how to tap into the right people. If your inner circle is telling you you can't do it, kick them to the curb. Okay? Right. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. I tell people all the time when I'm singing, if people don't mean good, kick them to the curb.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
All right. Take care, everyone. God bless you all.
Right.
Is that a clap or a crack or pop? Okay. Bye.
It's clapping. So this is your man, Dr. Mo, reminding you that your thoughts are your truth. And I'm out. Peace.